yourself.
Hi, I'm Greg Warzecka, interim dean of kinesiology and athletics here at American River College.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about your background in sports?
Well, it covers a few decades, to be honest with you, and I started way back in the 1970s as an assistant baseball coach at UC Berkeley, and coached there for 5 years and went on to be the head coach at San Francisco State for 3 years, and then moved to Chicago, where I was the head baseball coach and director of men's athletics at the University of Chicago for 4.5 years. And at that point, my baseball career kind of ended, and I took a job at the University of Redlands, a beautiful Division III private school in Southern California, where I was the director of physical education and athletics at Redlands, and spent a nice 5.5 years there before going up to UC Davis, where I was director of athletics for 16 years.
I'm so impressed by you.
That's awesome.
I'm just so impressed. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I really am.
That's okay.
From a guy's point of view, it's cool to see a structured male inside the community of a lot of unstructured males. That's why I can sense her excitement just to have those type of. That's why I keep saying mentors, just somebody for us to look up to. You know, I mean, that's a lot of ambition. It's a lot of accomplishments. It's a lot of goals that you've set, and you've accomplished it. I mean, that's actually something important. Not done yet. And that guy out there just sitting on his cell phone, he needs somebody like that.
Well, the size and scope of intercollegiate athletics, for example, is much different in the 3 NCAA divisions. And what's interesting to me is I started at Citrus College, community college in Southern California, coming out of high school before I transferred to UC Berkeley. So for me, working in Division III, Division II, and Division I, and now coming back to community college, it feels like a full circle that I'm coming back in my life to where I started. And it's actually very different, but exciting at the same perspective. Division I intercollegiate athletics is about winning, and it's about a lot of fundraising and having to build programs because most of the funding comes from external resources. Here at the community college level, it's a great open path for students coming into college that are still looking for maybe that athletic scholarship or looking for a chance to compete. And so it's very much an open, participatory type opportunity for students. And while there's no scholarships, at least in athletics, it is an opportunity for somebody to develop themselves academically and athletically, and that's kind of the beauty and the difference of the program. At Division I, it's a much larger structure, scholarships are involved, and winning is very much important, especially for coaches. Well, I know Jean a little bit from a distance through common friends. Obviously, Jean had a wonderful career in track and field before she became the dean here. And so as I was appointed, one of the first things I wanted to do is to meet Jean and get to know her a little bit better and understand some of the idiosyncrasies of the job. So we spent about 2.5, 3 hours sitting in this office together, and I had 100 questions for her. And she had answers to all of them. I'm not quite sure I remembered all the answers, but we had a nice discussion. And then later, a couple weeks later, after she came back from a well-deserved vacation, we spent about another 2.5 hours over lunch talking about things. So it is different in the respect that the funding sources are different here, especially for the faculty, their salaries and benefits, and some of the instructional resource money we get here. But I've been able to figure that out pretty quickly and understand some of the challenges that are here and some of the very good work that Jean did for her career. And I think it spanned maybe 13 years or more as the dean as she left coaching. So I do owe her a telephone call and I have many more questions, so I'll probably be back on the phone with Jean.
What are a few of your goals for this semester for the sports program here?
basically, as I started to work with some of the people on the search committee, with President Vyar, with Colleen Owings, one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that coming into a new structure, you really do have to be patient and understand the culture, because every institution has its own culture. And to come in with some sort of premise that you know it all is not good. So I've spent a lot of time understanding this community college, our facilities, our support systems that are in place for students and for student athletes. Very impressed in a lot of areas. Also, have quickly understand there are some weaknesses there also. So I'm mostly this semester in a situation where I'm learning, listening, and evaluating, and would like to do that through this semester. But certainly, I'm able to get into a leadership role real quickly with meetings, have good answers to some of the problems that maybe are lingering a little bit still, and have, I think, been very helpful in helping people solve some of the problems that they're dealing with right now, whether it's class enrollments, whether it's budgets, whether it's putting schedules together, whether it's issues about how many students to have on a team. You know, these are all just kind of ongoing organizational things that once we get through this semester, I think things will smooth out and we'll be able to show what we've accomplished. It will take time to rebuild our website, but it's a very high priority for me to rebuild that website and be able to communicate with the external population about ARC and ARC athletics. And one of the other things that I'm working diligently on is just our apparel and uniforms and those needed equipment and supplies for our students who are competing in athletics. I sense that over time with a lot of budget cuts, it's been stressful on the students who make the team and want to represent ARC, and there's a lot of cost associated with that. And I'm trying to work hard to find ways to minimize the cost for a student to compete in athletics here at ARC.
What are some ideas that you have to reach that goal?
Well, there's relationships I've built over time with apparel companies, and everybody likes to be associated with a certain apparel company, whether it's Nike, Adidas, or Under Armour, and we see it all the time with major college athletic programs and the swooshes on the uniforms. But there are relationships that you can build with these companies, even at the community college level, which create an opportunity for us to standardize our logo, ARC, the Beavers, our school colors. Are we navy blue? Are we royal blue? These seem like funny things to worry about, but it represents a movement to a standardization that when it comes Friday and everybody wants to be proud of school colors, they're all wearing the same blue. That's a simple dream I have, but it helps market promote ARC, all of the good things we do here academically and athletically, and at the same time, while we're able to be consistent with our brand, then an apparel company or apparel manufacturers might come to us and say, okay, let's partner, and with this partnership, we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z for the student athletes, which sometimes represents free stuff. And free is good. And so if we get free stuff, which I'm working on, then it does reduce those costs that the students have to currently pay to play in athletics.
Is there anything else as a student body that could help enrich that free stuff?
Yes, and a lot of times what happens is when athletics, because it's visible out there, especially when you have successful programs in some key spectator sports, then the bookstore can swing in and help with that branding, and then suddenly you have parents, you have alumni, you have the current student body liking certain pieces of apparel, especially if if it's athletically branded, you see many times today that people like to buy a jersey, a basketball jersey, a baseball jersey, or a football jersey, but they want the exact same jersey that the team is wearing. And that would be a goal that we'd have, where the bookstore can have that stuff on sale, and people can then realize that when they're wearing something from ARC, the general public recognizes, wow, that's American River College. And maybe we should come to a football game because the team has won 19 games in a row. And so that's the type of publicity that's good, and it's great to have successful sport teams, especially our current football team.